E salve a tutti ragazzi e benvenuti sul canale, rieccoci con Raven Remastered. Siamo arrivati al porto di Venezia e dobbiamo salire sulla barca, anche se l'ispettore non vuole farci salire. Prima però di avvicinarci alla barca, diamo un'occhiata qua in giro sul porto e vediamo cosa riusciamo a scoprire. Cosa cos'è l'auto? Vediamo l'auto della donna. Esamina il bagaglio.
Amazing how much luggage there is for so few passengers, and I'd guess that 3/4 of it belongs to the women.
Le donne.
I'll take an inconspicuous look up close.
Certo, non è palese che stai guardando. Aia, sportata in faccia.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting anyone to be crawling around on the ground in front of my door.
Don't worry about it, miss. No harm done.
That's good to hear, Mr.
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Possiamo parlare? Nome della donna, nel senso nome della donna.
May I ask your name?
Patricia Mayers.
Are you American?
I am. Could you help me, please?
Certainly.
E viaggia da sola?
Are you on your way to Egypt?
Yes.
Are you on holiday?
My father works for a railroad company there.
And is rebuilding the country after the war. Wonderful.
Yes. Wonderful. One more.
Che fortuna.
You're lucky to have a father who takes you to so many interesting places.
Oh, yes. Lucky me.
Aren't you interested in Egypt? The pyramids, the history.
I would have been more interested in a father who doesn't travel 300 days a year.
I'm sure your father regrets that he can't always be with you.
No doubt. And I'm sure he always wanted the best for me. But that doesn't stop him from thinking only about himself far too often.
Ammazza però come me li lasci i bagagli, che non è che sono il tuo fattorino.
Bring my luggage on board, please.
Excuse me?
It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
Impertinent.
Ma è proprio maleducata, oh. Ma questo è il dottore, ma pure i bagagli no, li lascio a terra. Sì, non me li fa interagire, quindi no. Allora andiamo a parlare con il dottore.
Is the doctor afraid to board the ship? Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
Dottore, mi sente?
Ah, the hero of the hour.
L'eroe del momento.
The hero of the hour, but out of work soon.
Oh, you won't be a policeman anymore?
Yes, but on my old beat, which is almost as good as being out of work.
I understand.
Il capitano della nave.
Have you already met the captain?
Mario Di Conti, heard of him?
Should I have?
He is something of a star in Italy, a war hero. In the First World War, when he was a young man, he sank more enemy ships than anyone else. In the Second World War, well, he had some personal problems.
You mean like the ones you buy in bottles and pillboxes?
Yeah, you could say that. Anyway, sending him into combat was out of the question. They gave him a supply ship instead. And he became a hero again. His ship, part of a convoy from Palermo to North Africa, was the only one that made it, with an extra 100 seamen who he rescued from the other ships.
Impressive.
To say his health is rather shaky these days would be an understatement. I think most of my time on board will be spent dealing with his numerous ailments.
Vabbè, insomma, comunque dai, è un buon capitano. Tutto sommato è un buon capitano. La nave.
Is your new job bothering you?
On the contrary, I wasn't sure whether I made the right decision until now. I'm from the Black Forest, you know. There are only mountains there. No ships. But now, the salty breeze, the atmosphere, I think I want to stay at sea forever.
The sea is one thing, the passengers are another.
It will be okay.
La baronessa. Forse l'auto che è arrivata è la baronessa. Parliamo, dai.
What do you know about the Baroness?
Nothing really.
Did you talk to her in the tunnel?
No. Her butler was looking after her, and I was busy with Miss Miller. As you can imagine, it was a shock for her to see her son rolling away on a burning train.
That's understandable.
So, we were all glad when we heard about your brave deed.
Well, there's nothing left for me to do but to wish you a good trip.
Oh, you are not coming with us?
Unfortunately, no. I'm to go back to Zurich.
What a pity.
Take care, Dr. Gebhardt.
Oh, I just remembered. We found these in the tunnel. Are they yours?
I'm afraid so.
Strophantine. Do you have heart problems? Maybe it's for the best that you're not coming along. Too much excitement could be bad for your health.
You mean, if I don't do anything, I'll probably have a few more years to live?
That's right. Keep your
Se lo dice il
chin up.
dottore. Ah, ok, le buttiamo in mare. Ok, l'auto della baronessa. Vai verso l'auto della baronessa. Dai, andiamo a parlare con la baronessa e vediamo che ci dice.
James? James! Where on earth are you?
Hello, Baroness.
Ah, Inspector.
Constable.
Poppycock. You won't be a constable much longer. When they find out how you rescued that little boy, they'll have to promote you to Inspector.
Very kind of you to say so, Baroness.
Allora, avventura nel tunnel, cassaforte, viaggio verso il Cairo. Vabbè, avventura nel tunnel.
I hope you survived the adventure in the tunnel unharmed.
Scandalous. You book a first-class cabin, and then you're walking on the rails. Huh. They wanted to bundle me off in a bus without my luggage.
The circumstances, madam.
I insisted on a limousine and didn't leave until all my luggage was recovered.
Cassaforte.
Did you know that the real Eye of the Sphinx wasn't even on the train?
I had no idea. Inspector Legrand seems to prefer to keep me in the dark, although I'm the one paying for all of this.
The inspector is ensuring the safety of the Eye.
Well, obviously. All the same, it was you who did the real work on the train.
Viaggio verso il Cairo.
I hope that the remainder of your trip to Cairo will be less stressful.
You aren't coming with us?
I'm afraid Inspector Legrand doesn't want
Perché
my
è geloso
company.
l'ispettore Legrand.
Now, where's my damned butler? James, there you are. Is the inspector to carry my luggage onto the ship all by himself?
Ma scusa, dove sta scritto che devo caricare le valigie?
Well, actually... Baroness?
Baroness, can you hear me? She fainted.
No. No.
Baroness?
Che ha visto? La prende a schiaffi.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Help me up.
Perhaps we should...
Now.
How did Dr. Gebhardt?
No, Doctor. Just a little moment of weakness. Your arm, James. Take me to the ship.
But of course, madam.
That was no moment of weakness. She saw something that shocked her, or someone. Very interesting, especially since she doesn't want to admit it.
Quindi anche la baronessa nasconde qualcosa. O il binocolo ha fatto cadere. Guarda attraverso il binocolo.
Who or what did she see? Neither of them seems to have noticed what happened down here. You'll have a tough time with her.
Ah, il violinista.
How does one get aboard without a ticket? Not brilliant, but it's a possibility.
Ok. Qua abbiamo la gente. Imbarcati sulla nave. Ma sono senza biglietto, come faccio a salire io sulla nave? Vabbè, proviamo a salire, vediamo che succede.
Oh, who do we have here? Signore...
This is Constable Anton Zellner.
Signori Zelna, I heard about your feats in the mountains. Welcome aboard the MS Lydia.
Thank you, Captain.
I didn't know you'd be taking part in the journey, but I'm glad to
ma
have you
questo
with
deve dire
us.
no,
I'll
non
have
ci
a nice
viene.
cabin prepared for you immediately.
The constable will not be joining us. He has other duties.
Oh, that's too bad. I would have loved to hear about his adventures from the man himself.
Viaggio verso l'Egitto, baule sospetto. Proviamo a chiedere del baule. Perché se faccio viaggio ancora mi dice no, ma io voglio viaggiare. Proviamo a fare domande diverse. Baule sospetto.
May I ask how to get to the cargo hold?
Oh, signori, there are much nicer places on board.
But I'm interested in the cargo hold.
Why is that?
One of the trunks seems suspicious to me. Someone could be hidden in it.
You... You want to imply that the most brilliant and probably richest thief in all of Europe is stowing away in a trunk? That's not his style.
That's what makes it more likely that it's not him, but a copycat who's behind all this. And a copycat's style might include doing whatever it takes, like hiding in a trunk if they've lost the ticket.
Oh, come now.
Actually, it would be possible for a registered passenger to board the ship without a ticket.
Dov'è la stiva?
Regardless of what you say, I would still like to examine the cargo hold.
All right, then, if you like. But we'll meet here again in 10 minutes. Captain De Conti, before we depart, I'd like to send 2 telegrams.
Certainly, Inspector. The cargo hold is over there. You can enter through a door on the forecastle. The horn will sound twice, 5 minutes before we set off. That's the signal for all the dock workers to leave the ship.
Understood, Captain.
Follow me to the bridge. You can send your telegrams from there.
Vabbè, noi faremo finta che la sirena non la sentiamo e rimarremo
My
sulla
time is
nave.
running out. If I don't find anything in the cargo hold, my cruise will be over before it even begins. Oh no.
È tutto buio, non si vede la pizza. Ma scusate, allora, lascia la stiva. Esamina la cabriolet. Vai verso l'oscurità. Esamina la cabriolet, e non vedo niente.
That's the young woman's cabriolet. Apparently they absolutely had to take it to Egypt, at Daddy's expense, of course.
Vai verso l'oscurità. Esamina l'oggetto cilindrico.
Oh, what's this?
Ah, ok.
Aha.
Ah, forse è questo baule? Esamina il baule.
Hello? Come on out.
Apri il baule.
The game's up. I'm opening the trunk. Hello?
Chi va là? Aspetta, esamina i frammenti.
The shards are... Phew. I startled too easily.
Aia. Ci ha catturato il ladro. C'è qualcuno. Forse è meglio stare in silenzio. Resta in silenzio. Tira lo straccio. Ok, è caduto qualcosa qua avanti. Usa il pezzo di ferro con... Apri la cassa con il pezzo di ferro. Taglia le corde con la sega. Mamma mia, è il nostro agente. Altro che James Bond. Poi, che altro possiamo fare? Qua, usa i comandi della gru. E che ho fatto? Ah. E che devo fare? Ah, fa da solo. Ah, per staccarmi la sedia forse. Sì, ma mi spacco le braccia.
Ouch! Damned. Ah! It would be best if no one found out about this.
Perché, scusa, almeno tu lo dici che sei stato catturato. Cioè la gente ci crede poi che c'è qualcuno. Qua sta un tubo. Esamina il tubo.
There's some blood and hair stuck to the pipe. Hair I really can't afford to lose.
Prendi il
I'll
tubo.
hold it on the blood-spattered end. After all, we already know who the victim is.
Ok. Esamina la cella.
A detention cell for crew members? Or maybe for rowdy passengers?
Sali le scale. E apri la porta.
Whoever locked the door is stronger than me.
Scusa, non posso usare il tubo. Dove sta? Tubo di metallo. Ah, ok. Esci dalla stiva.
I should be careful. The gunman may still be nearby.
What are you up to, Zelna?
Odore della pistola, mi stai minacciando, sono stato aggredito. Sono stato aggredito. Però lo sapete che mi sta sorgendo un dubbio. Non è che quale ispettore in realtà è lui il ladro. C'ho questo mezzo... non lo so. Allora, vabbè... perché mi sta minacciando?
The real question is, why are you threatening me with a gun?
Don't push your luck, Zelner. Why didn't you leave the ship as we agreed?
I was jumped in the cargo hold.
Of course you were.
Here, look. Careful how you hold it. There could be fingerprints on the end.
Surely you don't expect me to believe you.
Colpo alla testa.
I was inspecting the trunk. I found it in the cargo hold, and it was clear that someone had hidden inside it to board the ship.
Some people are willing to go to great lengths to be a part of this journey.
Indeed. Whoever it was, they struck me on the head from behind with the pipe while I was looking for clues. Oh, and they shot at me as well.
Ridiculous. You wanted to come along. Orders be damned, and so you found a way to stay here. I should throw you overboard.
I would have dreamed up something less painful.
True. That doesn't look good.
See? And there's a bullet wedged in a wooden crate down there. I don't have a gun.
The doctor should have a look at it. Come with me.
Inspector Legrand and Constable Zelna. So you have decided to join us on our journey after all.
So it would seem. We are searching for Dr. Gebhardt.
I'm just fine, Captain
Sembra ubriaca la baronessa.
Conti.
I'm in control. I can manage. Tell James he absolutely must wake me at 9:45.
Certainly, madam.
Absolutely.
I shall see that he does.
And now I shall return to my chambers. You'll be in the bar tonight at 10,
Che ci stai a
Inspector?
prova con l'ispettore,
If
baronessa?
that's what you wish.
It will be spectacular. I promise.
The fresh sea air, and perhaps a glass of champagne to many. But I'm glad that you decided to join us on our journey to Cairo.
Not quite voluntarily.
So he says.
I was jumped from behind.
But no, that is...
Dr. Gebhardt should have a look at him, Captain De Conti.
Of course. Please, have a seat in the saloon, Constable Zelna. I'll summon the doctor. Ah, Doctor, there you are. Our brave Constable Zelna was attacked.
Struck on the head.
Oh. Sit down, please.
Now, please, tell me exactly what happened.
Allora, sono stato assalito. Perché non è venuto nessuno a cercarmi? Dove... Effettivamente, perché non è venuto nessuno a cercarmi?
Why didn't anyone come looking for me? Didn't anyone notice that I didn't come back from the cargo hold?
We did search for you, but we couldn't find you.
Who was supposed to search the cargo hold?
Constable Oliver. I'll have a talk with him about that later.
I should hope so.
Is it bad?
Yes, it hurts a lot.
I spoke with Dr. Gebhardt.
He suffered a violent blow to the back of the head. I cannot really say how bad it is.
But I can. It really hurts.
Sono stato assalito. Dove siamo? Vabbè, sono stato assalito.
I think you've got a stowaway on board. I was jumped.
Intolerable. I'll have the crew search every nook and cranny of the ship. And of course, Mr. Zelna, you are cordially invited to travel as our special guest.
Good to know that at least one man doesn't want to throw me overboard.
How many fingers do you see?
Quali dita? 3 dita, 5 dita. Vabbè, 3.
3 fingers.
Okay.
Dove siamo?
Where are we? And what time is it? I must have been out for ages.
It's just after 8 p.m.
You just missed dinner. But we'll all meet here in the saloon at 10 o'clock to have a drink together. Greeting the passengers personally is a tradition I will not break, even on this unusual journey.
You're all right now, Constable. The bleeding has stopped, and the wound looks good. You may have a mild concussion. You just need a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, your only worries will be a headache and an impressive bump.
Thanks.
That's a good enough reason to celebrate. Enough about crooks and thieves. From now on, you can start to enjoy...
Che culo, una crociera gratuita.
Inspector!
What?
A dark shadow. Upper deck, just now.
Go, let's have a look.
I'll join you.
Me too.
No, you stay here.
Do you want to make this an argument?
Robert, go to the Baroness and don't let her out of your sight. Zellner, you're coming to the port side. Doctor, you go to starboard. I'll start at the forecastle and work my way back to the two of you. Understood?
But...
Baroness von Trebitz!
Non si apre?
Hello? Baroness von Trebitz? Open the door!
Allora, vai verso il ponte laterale.
All right, Doc. I'm off.
Oh no, I'm not going on a manhunt all by myself.
Qua ci stiamo sentendo male.
Are you okay? Maybe you had better take a rest, in case the blow was more severe.
I'm okay.
Zellner, up here!
Come on. I think it came from up there.
Sure, you just wanted to get a breath of fresh air.
Ah, questo è il clandestino.
Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our shadow.
And our stowaway.
Spent any time hiding in a trunk recently?
Me do nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Of course.
Vabbè, scusa, chiama il capitano e chiedi,
Baroness
no?
won't open the door, sir.
Understood. Take him to the detention cell, Robert.
No, ma non credo sia lui il ladro.
You were right. There was a stowaway.
Yes, but he can't be the Raven. He's too young.
Right, but that doesn't mean that the Raven isn't lurking here as well.
What was that?
A shot!
It came from one of the cabins.
Scommetto che è dalla cabina della baronessa lo sparo.
Oh no! Baroness von Trebitz?
Beh,
Baroness!
perché la porta non si
Open the door.
apriva. Scusa, ma non la possiamo sfondare? Mi
Step
sa
aside, please.
che se n'è andata.
We have a murder on our hands, gentlemen. Hurry, Zellner. The murderer still has to be nearby. There's practically no one on deck. Anyone who's outside is a suspect. This time we'll get him.
Madonna, io non ci leggiamo in piedi.
Zellner, are you okay?
Yes. Come on. We have to.
Zellner! Zellner! Merde!
Ah, you awake? Sleep well, did you?
Allora, sarcassi, grazie. Non ho dormito volontariamente. Non ho dormito volontariamente perché noi volevamo indagare.
I didn't fall asleep voluntarily.
It doesn't matter. We got along just fine without you.
Secondo me questo si è geloso di noi. Qualche sospetto. Cose che mi ha messo fuori gioco in quel modo. Progressione degli eventi. Progressione degli eventi.
What's the state of play? How was the Baroness killed?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at close range. We'll know more once the doc finishes examining the body in the medical center.
And no one saw anything suspicious.
No one saw a shadowy raven leaving the Baroness's cabin, if that's what you mean. A lot of people heard the gunshot. Inspector Legrand wants to question the passengers again this morning, once they've all calmed down, and he's had a chance to examine the evidence.
Cos'è che mi ha messo fuori gioco in questo modo?
I didn't pass out last night because of the blow to my head, did I?
Seems unlikely.
Non è
Inspector
che
Legrand
qualcosa che ho
thinks
bevuto?
you were drugged.
But how? The champagne.
Lo champagne.
Who gave you the glass of champagne?
Captain De Conti.
Interesting.
Il capitano. Ma non... il capitano no, perché comunque non stava sul treno il capitano, non può essere lui. Bicchiere di champagne.
It should be possible to find traces of the tranquilizer in the glass.
That is exactly what Legrand is trying to do.
Without a laboratory?
Oh, he's got a lab. His cabin is packed with all the latest forensic stuff. It's quite impressive what the inspector can do.
A competent man, no doubt, and surprisingly well prepared.
And diligent. He's been at it all night with his brushes and tinctures and glasses and everything, working like a man possessed. I wouldn't want to be the Raven now.
Qualche sospetto?
Have you arrested anyone yet?
You mean besides the Arab?
He could hardly have committed the murder. You must have been with him when it happened.
We heard the shot on the forecastle. I locked our friend in the detention cell in the cargo hold, and then went up to assist Legrand. You were already sleeping the sleep of the just.
Sì, vabbè, questo mi sta proprio antipatico. Proprio sullo scena del crimine.
I suppose that you and Legrand inspected the crime scene and the surroundings.
Of course, and we already hit the jackpot. The murder weapon.
Really? Where did you find it?
On the gangway. The gangway for boarding the ship folds up and hooks onto the hull when it's not being used. The murderer probably wanted to throw the gun into the sea. He casually dropped it overboard.
But it landed on the gangway.
Bad luck.
But Legrand and I were on the side deck right after the shot. There was no one there.
Maybe the murderer threw the gun away later. We recovered it in the early hours.
Altri sospettati.
Besides the Arab, has anyone else aroused your suspicion?
No. Seconds after the alarm went off, the decks were swarming with frightened passengers.
Yes. A clever way to stay incognito during the commotion.
But we still have our primary suspect, the Raven.
You really think he's returned?
Well, I think that no one knows as much about the Raven as Legrand.
But still, it all seems so incredible. I think I'll look for Inspector Legrand now.
Do what you think's best.
You won't get rid of me. I'm here to stay, Constable Oliver.
Be that as it may, Inspector Legrand ordered me to guard the cargo hold with our special guest. That's fine by me. Inspector Legrand may be able to get by without sleep for days on end, but not me. It's not easy playing with the big boys, Constable Zellner.
No, it certainly
Quanto mi
isn't.
sta sulle palle questo. Va bene ragazzi, allora io direi a questo punto di salutarci qui per questo episodio. Voi mi raccomando come sempre spolliciate, mettete like, attivate la campanella se non l'avete ancora fatto. Magari anche nei commenti scrivetemi, fatemi sapere le vostre supposizioni, cosa ne pensate. Scambiamoci un po' le idee, ma tanto questo video come al solito non lo guarda nessuno, quindi chi lo sa, chi lo sa. Va bene dai, noi ci vediamo sempre qui sul canale con un prossimo video. Voi mi raccomando come sempre spolliciate e mettete like. Ciao, adieu!